Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help, and welcome back to another video today. So today is all about stackable clues, and this is just a brief update on the stackable clues. So since the blog went live, we've seen a huge wave of thoughtful feedback, debate, and concerns about stackable clues, especially around the elements like skip tokens, the 5 scroll cap, and the 1 hour despawn timer. So I'm pretty sure people were really upset with things like the skip tokens. That kind of seems like the evolution of combat, the squeal of fortune thing. Kind of just doesn't seem like it fits old school. And then people were also extremely upset about the 1 hour despawn timer. And then I also saw debate about the 5 scrolls. People were saying it's too much. There were people saying it's not enough. So I really don't know what to think about that. So these conversations have been invaluable in helping us understand what you want and don't want from this kind of update. So we've taken all the feedback on board, spent time reevaluating the proposal, and made meaningful changes we think strike a better balance between the old school charm and quality of life. So below, we'll walk you through how each part of the stackable clues system is evolving and why we're now confident enough to pull this separately from the rest of poll 84. Yeah, I think 100% it should be separate anyways. It's pretty big. Okay, so as you can see, skip tokens are removed. So let's start with the elephant in the room. Skip tokens, yep, they're gone. So we included them in the proposal with good intentions. The idea was to bypass the sorts of steps that make you want to juggle clues in the first place, while also adding an additional reward layer for more consistent profitability on your treasure trails. However, you let us know loud and clear this one didn't hit the mark. Yeah, it just was too much like EOC. Like they have, I think you can do a reroll, I think it's called, and you can just reroll the reward. So it kind of reminded people of that, and that just seems a little broken, right? I mean, reroll, skip this step as same thing, I guess. I don't know. A lot of you felt the skip tokens just didn't belong. Yeah, it kind of takes the whole like reward, I don't know how to explain it, the prestige out of the clue scroll, right? Yeah, they took away a sense of challenge, progression, and satisfaction that comes from working through clues the old-fashioned way. So yeah, it's kind of just like, imagine you had a skip token for a quest. I don't want to do Monkey Madness 2. I'll just use a skip token, right? It does take away progression. I mean, that's kind of an extreme example, but I do understand, right? For many, it felt like too much of a shortcut, a bit too modern for something so classically old school. So we're cutting them. We'll happily hold our hands up and say we got this one wrong. They're taking accountability again, which is really good to see. Yeah, I mean, it's the community's game at the end of the day. Skip tokens won't be included in this poll, and we have no plans to bring them back in the future proposals either. Alright, so nice to see that. Okay, so the 1 hour despawn timer is staying. So next up, the 1 hour clue despawn timer. Originally, we were planning to revert this to 3 minutes. The idea was to fix an underlying side effect of the previous update. Specifically, that 1 hour timer encouraged clue juggling in a way that could feel fiddly, awkward. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was, but at the end of the day, you could get a lot of them done, and people kind of grew accustomed to doing this, right? So with scroll boxes on the way, we figured juggling wouldn't be necessary anymore, so why keep the timer? So your feedback challenged that. Many of you argued that the 1 hour timer enables a creative, community-driven form of clue gameplay. Sure, it's fiddly, but it's your fiddly. I guess it's kind of like 2 ticking or 1 ticking or whatever the hell people do, right? I mean, it's in the game. It may be fiddly, but it works, I guess. Yeah, and it fits that spirit of gameplay you've always loved in old school. So when players come up with new ways to interact with the content, even if those approaches weren't part of the original design, we're usually happy to support them. So as long as they don't negatively impact the wider game. I don't know, some of these things do, in my opinion, affect the game, but at the end of the day, it was this way for a year, and if they just change it back to 3 minutes, I don't really, might as well just keep it how it is, you know? So after digging deeper into the data, we're reassured, yes, players are doing more clues on average since the 1 hour timer was added, but not to a degree that's disruptive or damaging. Additionally, the number of people who are actually juggling more clues than they'd be able to stack with these changes is very small, so it's not a hill that we're willing to die on. I mean, personally, I did the medium clue scrolls, I tried that method out, and that works very well if you want to farm mediums, right? People do it with hards too, but it is one of those things where you have to go back, drop them, go back, drop them, and it could be very annoying, right? So it's one of those things, right? So basically, they're saying it right here. In short, the benefits of keeping this unique, high-effort playstyle far outweigh the concerns we had around balance or clue volume, right? So it is high-effort, high-reward type thing. Though if that ever changes in a big way, it's something we'd be open to revisiting in the future. So for now, we've flipped our stance. The 1 hour timer stays. Stackable clues help close the gap a little for players taking things a little easier. If you love juggling clues and living that high effort life, you'll still be able to do that. For the rest of us who prefer a bit less chaos and a bit more convenience, scroll boxes are still there to offer a cleaner, more accessible experience, which brings us to, so yeah, it's one of those things where I guess when you get a clue scroll, right, you could open it up and get the actual scroll, drop it, and then you could have a bunch of the scrolls dropped on the ground for an hour, and also scroll boxes. So it's actually more powerful now, I guess. Okay, so we got the 5 clue cap staying, but with more context. Now, personally, I would like it to just be as many as you want, but I understand that's broken, right? Maybe, I know I've seen people say 10 or maybe 5, but you don't have to pay for them. So let's see what they've done here. So right here it is, the 5 clue cap. Yes, we're keeping it, but before you grab out your pitchforks, hear us out. The goal here is to keep clues as fun, occasional interruptions to your gameplay, and not something you hoard and grind all day. I guess if you had hundreds of them, you could just spend a whole day doing them, and it maybe will mess with the high scores and stuff. I don't know. The 5 clue cap lets you bank up to 5 clues at a time, giving you the freedom to take on a solid clue session without interrupting your main activities. Yeah, 1 at a time is just very annoying, especially if you have to go into the wilderness, bank your gear, right? It's a convenience feature, yes, but it's designed to keep clues a fun, short-term activity rather than something you spend your entire day grinding. Okay, so that does make sense, right? So now we get that there's a balancing act here. On one hand, we want to make sure that casual players can still enjoy the system without having to ditch their raid team every time they get an elite clue. That's another huge problem, right? I never even thought about raids and then having to ditch your team, but that's a huge one. On the other, we don't want to turn clues into a giant grind fest where everyone's stockpiling scrolls for an all-day clue binge, because it's so far removed from what treasure trails are supposed to be. Okay, so yeah, at the end of the day, they were supposed to be just something you do. I don't know, RuneScape, old school especially, has really evolved, so I don't really know what to think of this, but I do understand they don't want people doing 100 in a day type thing. Okay, so here's where the 1 hour timer comes in. So for those of you who enjoy juggling clues, it's still possible, but it's going to remain awkward, manual, and a tad wildly. So basically, just the way you like it. Our data shows that most players don't bother with this because it's such a hassle. However, for those who really want to go full-blown clue hoarder mode, it's there as a workaround. So in short, we hope the 5 clue cap strikes a balance. It gives casual players a convenient and accessible way to enjoy clues without undermining the core idea that clues should remain a fun, random diversion. And for the hardcore clue collectors, the 1-hour timer gives them the ability to still hoard clues. It's just going to take a bit more effort, and that's exactly what we want to see. So yeah, at the end of the day, the more effort you put in, the more of a reward it's going to be. So I guess that is actually a good thing. Okay, and it looks like the progression system is actually staying. So we saw a fair bit of feedback around the clue slot unlocks feeling a little overcomplicated, and we totally get where that's coming from. However, we also want to share why we still believe in the system and why we'd like it to stay in the proposal. So for those who missed the original explanation, here's a quick refresher on how the unlock system works. So when the update launches, you'll start with the base of 2 clues per tier. So for example, 1 active clue scroll and 1 scroll box. From there, you can unlock additional storage slots by completing clue-related achievements. So complete a set number of clues per tier to earn extra stacking slots for that specific clue type. So the more clues you do, the more you can hold. So see the table below. And then defeat the mimic. So doing so adds a +1 slot across all tiers, giving you an extra stacking power no matter which clues you prefer. Okay, so they are still keeping this, so obviously, you know, depending on the tier, say for the hards, once you complete 50, you get a +1, and then once you complete 150, you get another +1. I don't really like this system because at the end of the day, you still really have to grind, and I don't know, I feel like it's just a lot of clues to just get a +1 slot. I was really hoping, honestly, that they'd get rid of this system, or make it, you know, a lot easier, but people are gonna, you know, just be doing the drop method so that they can start basically getting the clue tiers unlocked. You know what I mean? Yeah, so obviously each unlock bumps your captivity by 1, allowing you to stack more clues and dive into longer clue sessions. Defeating the mimic works a little differently. It grants you an extra slot for every clue tier at once, no matter your clue completion count. So on a related note, while we're talking about clue rewards, we've heard your feedback about unlocking the mimic encounter itself. Although this blog doesn't include changes to that system, we are currently working on adding a dry protection mechanic, meaning you'll eventually encounter the mimic after completing a specific number of elite or master clues, even if luck hasn't been on your side so far. Okay, that's actually really good to see. I kind of like guaranteed things when it comes to unlocks, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be RNG if you want to like finish a quest or finish an achievement. So I like that. So we still believe this unlocks system respects your time, celebrates your progress, and gives clue content a real sense of growth without making it feel gated or exhausting. Seriously, let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's too much, or you think they're being fair with, you know, completing 150 to get a +1? I think that's kind of crazy, but I don't know. Maybe I just haven't done enough clues in my time. So at its heart, this approach is designed to make clue progression feel rewarding. There's a real sense of journey and discovery in clue hunting, and we think gradually unlocking additional storage slots through your own clue activity leans into that in a meaningful way. It reflects the way a lot of you already engage with clues, building knowledge, gaining efficiency, and growing mastery over time. That said, we don't want anyone to feel punished for only just hearing about this now. That's why the system is fully retroactive, meaning if you've already put in the work, you'll log in with clue slots ready and waiting. No surprises, no lost progress, just a nice nod to the effort you've already put in. So in short, we still believe this system respects your time, celebrates your progress, and gives clue content a real sense of growth without making it feel grindy or gated. Okay. Huh. And new master clue warning message. So one new addition we're sliding in based on your feedback, a friendly little heads up to help prevent a painful moment many clue chasers have faced. If you're at a 5 master clue limit and try to open a casket that would give you a master clue box, the game will display a warning message. You've already have 5 master clues. You will not receive a master clue box if one would have been awarded. Okay, I actually think this is a really good thing too. So you can still open your other ones and not worry about missing out on an additional master scroll. It's a small change, but one we hope could save you a major headache. Hopefully it spares you from missing out on a master clue just because your clicks got a little too keen. Yeah, that's another thing too, if you like misclicked, right? This option will be toggleable, so if you're not a fan, you can just turn it off. Nice. Okay. Yeah, overall, man, I really don't know what to think about this. I'm a fan that they're keeping the 1 hour Despawn Timer for those who want to try and put more effort in. I'm glad the skip tokens are definitely removed. We don't want that evolution of combat stuff. And I don't know. I like the clue cap of 5, but I personally think the unlock system is way too high. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. Am I crazy for saying it's too high? Maybe I just haven't done enough clues like I've said, but yeah, I'd be really curious to hear what you guys think of this, so let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching the video today. I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.